fuck with parents. They're also from Rhode Island. We've been on tour for a long time now. We're a little worn out. But we're still going to give it 110%. Where is my fucking wallet, alright? By the forum, where the bleeding calves are torn. Now there they're open like a letter, old man. Your tongue in hands, your tongue in hands. They'll send the boy in the court and let him buy all whom he can. Well, they curse me when I come, and they curse me when I go. For the war and for the wine, for the taste. Why am I so foreign? Why am I so blind? Thanks a lot. That one's called Octavian. Let's see. Well, I'm no better off than you. Can you hear that okay? I can hear it okay.
Yeah.
This tune is called Walking Down the Corn. It's a conflation of these two stories. The main sort of gist is there's these sort of like intermittent disasters that happen in these gigantic corn silos out west. This particular story that there's audio from is from corn silo compound in Illinois where people get in, and then when it gets a little humid in these silos, they send in usually young kids to who are working summer jobs in there with these rakes, and they'll open the chutes in the bottom of the silo. And these are gigantic buildings essentially, several stories tall. They'll open the chute to release some of the corn. The kids have to sort of push the stuff along to keep it moving. And what happens often is there'll be a quicksand effect, and these kids will get sucked down in there and they drown. The other story that goes along with it is of this woman, Mary Johnson, and a boy named O'Shea Israel. And O'Shea murdered her son when O'Shea was a teenager. He was tried as a juvenile, and there was potential of him getting the death penalty or serving life in prison, but he ended up coming out of jail and built a relationship with Mary Johnson, the mother of the boy that he murdered. They became really, really very, very close.
If this was the first time this had ever happened, I could see leniency. But because this happens time and time again, year after year after year, there is no leniency.
Yeah, I found the part. Somebody dies every year, it seems like. Not in our town, but all over. I want it! 911, what's your emergency? I don't want them to stop me in. I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to go and stop here. Oh my God, you should have your measure every grade. You need to follow the ways to go to the minute. Oh my God, I'm going to go. You need to follow the ways.
said we need to lay a foundation, we need to get to know one another. And I said, period.
Till most of my time, all that is complete.
Feeling all right?
Real people.
This song is called Jephthah's Daughter.
People want to live like this in a car and a big fucking home and it's money to pay for. It's unnecessary. The only reason that they don't get to continue living like kings is because we've got our fingers on the scales in their favor. I take my hand off, and then the whole world gets really fucking fair, really fucking quickly, and nobody actually wants that. They say they do, but they don't. They want what we have to give them, but they also want to, play innocent and pretend they have no idea where they came from. They're just more foxes and I'm willing to swallow some fuck. Fuck normal people. The funny thing is, tomorrow if one of this goes tits up, they're just crucify us. They're going to do reckless. If we're wrong, they don't get back on track. Well, some people that are walking with kiss their pants, people are going to look at it, kiss pussy, don't have enough to do it.
Last call, I'm praying down heaven's mire. Then hold your feet to the fire, burning even on a holy pyre. The lamb screaming on the dying board. Well, there's no two ways. Jephthah's daughter's on the killing floor. There's no two ways. Well, I did it on a whim. Yeah, I did it on a dare. Well, I did it. I was facing aiming well, a horse on his tire. There's no two ways. Across the desert on the shades divide her from her fate. Yeah, I did on a whim. Well, I did on a dare. Well, I did it. Well, across the way we hit divide. Well, it wouldn't be a dog. He should have known what he had in store, 'cause there's no two ways. Jephthah's daughter's on the killing floor. Thanks.
They stay exactly the same.
Okay. Well, this is pretty intimate, huh? Shitty things about shows like this is that you're scared to leave, like in the middle of the song or something like that. You don't want to be like, you don't want to be the one making that sound as you leave. It's alright. You can go. You have to go. Providence apartments, there'd be like a warehouse space where you'd go and you'd just be like, oh, I'm gonna go to this show, and there would be some sort of theatrical, like, I don't know, this attempt to be interesting, and there'll be all these people there, but even then, you're just like, it's so quiet in here, and everyone's sort of so focused, I can't be alone. Be in some big, warehouse where every time you move your feet, it sounds like thunder. So I know how you feel. Okay, this song at one point had a name. Going down to the races, I'm gonna kill any man. Put a little life into her. I don't wanna keep her waiting. Not the dog. I'm going down to the races, I'm gonna kill any man. Put a little life into her. I wanna keep her waiting. Put a little life into her. I've been out for the races, and I've had it out for her. I don't want to keep her waiting, waiting. Going down to the races, I'm gonna shake every hand. I'm gonna feel so good and bad. I wanna keep her waiting. So, there's enough people here where I won't feel badly telling this story 2 nights in a row. Not all of you were in Providence last night. So, this song is sort of a Civil War inspired tune, and since it's been the sesquicentennial of the Civil War, 150 years have gone by, we're in the last phases of the conflict. In a couple months, it'll all be over. April 9th was the surrender of the Army of Northern Virginia and Appomattox in Virginia. But a few years previous to that, there was an incident that happened. December of 1862, where the two Western armies sort of came into close contact outside of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. It was late December. The Battle of Stones River actually happened around New Year's Day in 1863. But the night before the battle, the two armies were camped about a mile apart from one another. And they, being a cold December night, the sound was able to travel back and forth between the camps. And one of the bands started playing one of their patriotic tunes, like Battle Hymn of the Republic or something like this on the Union side, or Dixie on the Confederate side. And the bands would sort of play back and forth. One band would strike up a tune, the next band would follow, and went on and on into the night. And one of the bands started to play a song called Home Sweet Home, which was popular on both sides. And both the bands started playing that song together, and they sort of played it as a reel, and they played it on for a while. It really struck a chord with everybody who was there to witness that. And the next day, they fought the Battle of Stones River, or Murfreesboro, and it was one of the bloodiest battles in U.S. history in the Civil War. That battle actually was more costly as far as capacity than any other battle during the war. So each army lost about 30% of the people who went in to fight it. And the day before, they were all sort of playing this one familiar tune that they all liked and shared. So anyway, this song is called Antietam. No tongue can tell, no mind can see, no pen portray the terrible things I saw on the bloody lane. Fortunate I, my mother's wears, where my brothers lie, among the shattered corn, and through the wind of nails, 7 angels wear 7 swords of hell, death and despair, death and despair, and blasphemy rolled o'er the wooded glade, like religion old, like a wave unchained, like a storm untold. And by my hand I felled 20 million men, and by grace and force I bled the gully red, while the crooked breeze tore stern from bow, like the axe that split Jupiter's brow. Thanks.
Of all the many generations of people and past generations
Adamah is soil. So Adam literally means earthling, and as described in the second chapter of Genesis, Adam is fashioned by God out of Adamah, out of the earth. The translation is the dust of the earth. It's meaning of the material of the soil. And now the question is, Adam's mate, in Hebrew Chava, or in English rendered Eve. Chava means literally life or life giver. So together the combination of Adam and Eve mean quite literally soil and life. Perceiving that life is associated with soil. Adam and Eve are placed in the Garden of Eden, which means literally the Garden of Delight, which is nature. And given an assignment, not mastery, but a role, a task, to serve and preserve, says the Hebrew le'ofdah u'l'shomra. The King James translation says to dress it and keep it. My translation is to serve it and to preserve it.
I had a goal, whom I was always failing. I had a firewall, but she burned. I had a fall, but she became a servant dog. Dream fades away from calling otherworldly calm. The image of a waving woman with coalescing arm. But I am quite soft to speak with, I never do you harm. But these distant dreams I have, they sound
We banish ourselves from the Garden of Eden by exploiting it. And when mothers see their children playing in the soil now, they say, oh, that's dirty. And they rapidly, quickly wash their hands of the dirt. And we misapply that terrible word, dirt, to the soil, which is without all dimensions.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that nice applause. That's really nice of you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So, thanks a lot for Gus for getting us all together and getting us up here wherever there he is. Good guy. You ought to get to know him. If you get really close to him, you start getting jealous. Thanks a lot. That's it for me.